Hello and welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel. First eine Info to my German-speaking viewers. Dieses Video ist auch mit deutschem Kommentar verfügbar. Der Link zum deutschsprachigen Video findet ihr in der Videobeschreibung. This video is about the Cube Controls SP01 pedals, the first pedal set from Cube Controls with a hydraulic brake pedal. In this video you will find out how the hydraulic brake with its many adjustment options feels, and if the pedal set consisting of brake pedal and throttle padding is convincing. The video with the clutch will appear in a separate video when the clutch is available. When it is available, I will add the link to the video description, and you will find a review video for the clutch in the review playlist. First, I will show you the pedal in detail in this video. I will talk about the individual components used and included in the package, say something about the materials, and explain how the pedals feel. After that, I will give a summary of the pedals, and at the end of the video I will do a test drive with the pedals on my simulator. After this video you won't have any more questions about the pedals. This package is the performance kit.
Let's Go Race, the channel for virtual motorsport.
The package includes the throttle pedal and the brake pedal, mounting brackets to screw the pedals to the simulator, connecting cables, tools, nuts and bolts. Also included are springs, rubber dampers or elastomers, and spacers. The pedal set can be purchased in two versions, as GT and as Formula version. The GT version has an aluminium pedal plate and the Formula version has a carbon pedal plate. Which version you choose is entirely up to your preferences. I will explain the differences later in the video. In addition, there is a performance kit for the brake pedal, with even more dampers and configuration options for the brake pedal. I will show you and test this kit in an extra video. This video will be published in the next few days. I will include a link to it in the video description and it will also be shown at the end of this video. Let's start with the materials used and the workmanship of the pedals. The entire pedal is made of CNC machined aluminium and anodized in black and blue. Visually, I think they are probably the most beautiful pedals on the market. The pedal set is very robustly designed and built. The workmanship of the components on the pedals is outstanding and you can't see a single optical flaw on the entire pedal set. Let's start with the shared features of the pedals, and that will be the two pedal plates, at least on the GT version. The two pedal plates can be screwed on at various heights using different screw-on points. To adjust the pedal plate must first be unscrewed. As you can see, the pedal plate can be mounted in 4 different height positions. Here we have a difference of 55 mm between the highest and the lowest position. After unscrewing the pedal plate, simply screw it back at the desired threads. In the GT version, both pedal plates are the same. Therefore, you can also see very well how the mounting is noticeable a few millimeters further down. As I mentioned it earlier, the pedal plate on the GT version is different from the Formula version. While the GT version uses identical pedal plates, the Formula version will have a carbon plate mounted on the throttle pedal. The Formula version is bolted on slightly differently to the GT version and also offers only two mounting positions. However, the carbon plate is also significantly larger, so it covers a larger area. When mounting the carbon plate in the lower position, we are about the same height at the upper end as with the GT pedal plate when it's screwed on in the second highest position. Both pedal plates cover a very similar range. The carbon plate by its size and the GT pedal plate by the many screw-on positions. If you take a closer look at the pedal plates, you can see that the GT pedal plate is made of aluminium, is slightly curved, and also significantly thicker. The GT pedal plate also has a rough surface. This offers a little more grip on the surface compared to the smooth carbon plate. The carbon surface of the Formula version is therefore slightly more slippery than the GT pedal plate made of aluminium. The carbon plate is completely flat and has a thickness of 5 mm. Both pedal plates are very robust, resistant, and are very well made. I think both pedal plates have their advantages and everyone finds a different pedal plate better. It all depends on your own driving style. Some push the throttle pedal backwards and therefore probably prefer the GT pedal plate. And some prefer to let the pedal plate slide over the surface of the foot. For this, the carbon plate would probably be the better choice, as it is a little more slippery and has a larger contact area. Let's continue with another shared feature of the two pedals. Both pedals have their main rotation point at the front, via which you can also adjust the preload of the pedals. The preload is generated via two strong torsion springs at the rotation point of the two pedals. With the throttle pedal, this spring is responsible for the resistance. With the brake pedal, in addition to the preload, the dampers and springs, in combination with the hydraulics, generate the braking resistance. Therefore, the preload is most clearly demonstrated with the throttle pedal. To change the preload, turn the black screw. The further the silver surface is turned backwards, the more the spring is tensioned, and as a result, the preload is higher. The preload is currently at about the lowest possible adjustable point. Therefore, the resistance is also relatively low. The matching Allen key is included in the scope of delivery. Now I turn 7 turns counterclockwise. This is now a very high resistance that I have set. With this, you not only set the force you have to press, but also how quickly the pedal returns to its starting position. As you can see, you have to use a lot of force with the preload that is set compared to the preload in the lowest range. Of course, the same applies to the brake pedal, but it is not as noticeable there as it is with the throttle pedal. The preload can be adjusted step-lazy without any problems. The difference between the lowest and the highest preload is very large, so there should be a right setting for everyone. Now to the last chart feature of the two pedals, the mounting options. Both pedals are screwed to your simulator via mounting brackets. The brackets are screwed directly onto the pedal with the screws from the scope of delivery. As you can see, the angle of the pedals can be adjusted. The attachment points of the mounting brackets are 5 degrees apart. The pedals can therefore be tilted up to 15 degrees downwards and upwards, depending on how you attach the mounting brackets. The mounting bracket for the throttle pedal is made of aluminum, and the mounting bracket for the brake pedal is made of stainless steel, because there are much higher forces on the mounting brackets for the brake pedal. Both have a thickness of 5 mm and are black anodized. The pedals are screwed to the simulator via the slotted holes in the mounting brackets. M8 screws and nuts are included in the scope of delivery. However, if you screw the pedals to aluminum profiles, like I do, you will need other screws, because the screws included in the scope of delivery are too long to attach the pedals to aluminum profiles. Of course, you also need the matching M8 slot nuts. The mounting brackets never bent or slipped in my tests. That's everything the two pedals share. Now I will go into a little more detail about the throttle pedal, before I move on to the brake pedal later. An important feature of the throttle pedal is the pedal travel. I don't mean the pedal travel you can set in the software, I mean the pedal travel you can press on the pedal itself. The pedal travel can be adjusted in two different ways. The first variant is the fastest variant. All we have to do is to turn the blue stop on the thread to change the pedal travel. In this way, the pedal travel is step-lazy adjustable. The stop is additionally damped with a rubber damper. The second option we have are the two spacer rings, where one is already mounted on the pedal. Two of these are included in the scope of delivery. Each of the two has a thickness of 10 mm. They can be removed completely, only one can be mounted, or both can be mounted. To change them, the rod must first be unscrewed with the Allen key. Then the rod can be removed and the spacer rings can be added or removed. After you are finished, simply screw the rod in again. But there's another adjustment option on the pedal. This has only a limited influence on the length of the pedal travel. It has to do with how the throttle pedal should feel. To do this, you can attach the rod to one of the 3 screw-on points. The positions change how the pedal travel feels. The leverage also has a big influence. The higher the rod, the larger the leverage and the easier is it to press the throttle. Especially in the first part of the pedal travel, an adjustment here has a big influence. So in the lower mounting position, the pedal pressure is slightly higher. In addition, the pedal travel is shortened by about 6.5 mm compared to the top position. The connections are located on the back. Here you will find a USB-C to connect the pedals to the PC, a socket for the brake pedal and a socket for the clutch. First, connect the brake pedal to the throttle pedal. This is done with the connector. The connector of the cable has a small bob which engages when plugged in. The cable of the brake pedal is firmly connected to the brake pedal unit and cannot be removed. After the pedals are connected, you can connect the pedals to the PC with the 2-meter long USB-C cable. At the other end of the cable is a USB-A connector. Now we have discussed the throttle pedal. Let's move on to the brake pedal. There are three areas of the brake pedal that are responsible for the resistance. I already talked about the preload at the beginning of the video, so I will continue directly with the second area. And that is the hydraulic unit. The brake has a hydraulic unit made of aluminium. The intensity of the hydraulic unit can be adjusted using the adjusting wheel on the rear. Here you have several preset options for adjusting the intensity of the hydraulic unit. To do this, simply turn the red aluminium wheel. You can feel very well how the wheel engages in the various settings. The higher you turn, the more the hydraulic unit intervenes in the braking behavior. This is probably solved in such a way that the higher the number on the rotary wheel, the more the flow of the hydraulic fluid is reduced. This means that the hydraulic fluid at level 6 takes much longer to flow through completely than level 1. This limits the speed at which the pedal can be pressed and how quickly the pedal can return to its starting position. According to Cube controls, realistic values are between 0 and 2. Anything above can make the pedal feel too damped and not realistic. But that's something everyone has to decide for themselves. Here is a small test for this. First, the hydraulics are set as low as possible. Now I set the hydraulics as high and strong as possible. In the same area is this limiter. With this, you can set a hard limit for the pedal travel if you want. However, this only makes sense if the resistance of the pedal is set very low and you want to have less pedal travel. If the resistance is high, you will not reach this range anyway. Let's move on to the most important point of the brake pedal, the elastomers and spring settings. The elastomers and springs can combine as desired. With the blue rotary wheel, you can tension the springs and dampers, and make additional fine adjustments by turning the wheel to increase or decrease the preload. A higher preload also results in a higher brake pressure. To do this, simply turn the rotary wheel more in the direction of the spring. The opposite happens if you turn the wheel further away. If you want to make major changes, you have to swap the two units with the available elastomers and springs. In this case, the blue spring must first be released by turning the blue wheel. Then loosen the rod and unscrew it by hand. The standard package includes two blue steel springs in mechanical engineering quality. These are the strongest springs available from Cube Controls. Also included are one soft yellow elastomer, one red medium elastomer, and two blue hard elastomers. Also a few plastic washers. The elastomers and springs can combine as desired. Here you could also use two blue springs for example, or two elastomers. Any configuration is allowed, but two elements must always be installed. It makes a difference what you use. For example, a hard blue spring is easier to press than a hard blue elastomer. But they feel also different. A spring feels more like the force you have to apply is increasing consistently. You could say the force tends to increase more linearly with the distance you compress the spring. With elastomers, on the other hand, the force that has to be pressed increases significantly above a certain range. As an example, if you only use elastomers, the first 50% of the pedal travel is relatively linear compared to the pedal travel. From that point on, the force increases significantly more than the pedal travel that is pressed. With well-chosen combinations, you can configure not only the strength of the brake pressure, but also the way how the brake pressure should behave. I made an example with different configurations. The videos show how the brake pedal behaves when pressed. Of course, you must always remember that you may not be able to press the brake pedal as far with a very strong brake resistance as with a softer configuration. It all depends on the strength in your legs. how far you can push and how far you want to push. Then you also have to remember that if you change something, the pedal travel has to be recalibrated in the Cube Control software. I will show you how to do this later. The comparison on the left of the Nürburgring shows how the different configurations behave when driving. I can also tell you that not everyone gets along equally well with all configurations. For example, I have problems when I drive without elastomers and with too little resistance. I've been driving with hydraulic pedals for years and notice immediately that I make far less mistakes when I use elastomers. When I use hot elastomers, I tend to brake into a corner with a certain amount of force myself. So with about 80% braking force on the brake pedal or 80% braking force on the car. With springs, especially lighter configurations, I tend to brake a certain pedal travel, so about 80% pedal travel for 80% braking force on the car. I find it much easier to brake with a certain force than with a certain pedal travel. Therefore, it is also very important to find the perfect pedal pressure for yourself. Everyone likes it differently. Therefore, many adjustment options are very important on the pedal. Here is a test of the hydraulic system. On the left side, the hydraulic system is set very low, and on the right side, it is set very high. The speed of the video is at 30% so that you can see the difference. Otherwise, it is difficult to see that it takes a little longer with the higher setting. I hope I was able to explain the whole topic to you in an understandable way. Now I will continue with the Cube Control software for the pedals, which can be downloaded free of charge from the Cube Controls website. First, the pedals must be calibrated. To do this, press Calibrate and press the pedal once all the way down. Do the same with the brake pedal. Press the pedal approximately into the range of the pedal travel you want to use, or the brake pressure you want to use. You can also press 5% further down, because you can still adjust the pedal travel later. As you can see, there's a small blue bar in the graph of the two pedals in the lower section. This can now be defined more precisely under Inputs. Adjust the lower value until the number 0 is there. Set the maximum value so you can see that the number does not change when you press it down. This guarantees that the pedal is not already at 2% in the starting position. It also guarantees that when the pedal is pushed down, the pedal really reaches 100% braking distance and not just 98%. So the pedal travel, which will be sent to the simulation, will be defined here. After that, we can also define under Profiles how the signal should behave over the entire pedal travel. For that, I have created a few test profiles. At the same time, I'll show you in the white window how the different profiles affect the signal that is sent to the simulation. The best way to see it is to press the pedal, for example, 80% down. If it is set to standard, 80% pedal travel is also sent to the simulation. When I change the graph at 80% pedal travel, a slightly higher percentage is sent to the simulation. The opposite can be seen in the second example. With such settings, you can for example set the first part of the pedal travel to be sensitive or less sensitive, just as you want it. Each of the blue points can be moved in height. That is all I can explain and show about the pedal set. Let's move on to the final conclusion, the price of the pedal set, and then a few laps with the pedals in a race mode. The full race is linked in the video description. The Cube Controls SP01 pedal set costs €1,099 in the GT version and €1,129 in the Formula version. The prices are without VAT and without shipping costs. Including 19% VAT and DHL shipping, the price in Germany would be around €1,346 for the GT version and €1,382 for the Formula version. The look, the quality of the materials used, the workmanship, and also the way the pedal set is constructed definitely place the pedal set in the high-end pedals category. The most important thing about the pedal set is how it feels and how extensive the adjustment options are. And here, there are hardly any wishes left unfulfilled. In terms of adjustment options, you can really adjust everything you want on the throttle pedal and on the brake pedal. You can adjust the pedal travel on both pedals. Although on the brake pedal, this is mainly done via the brake resistance and the software. You can adjust the resistance of the pedals as you wish, and with the brake pedal, you can even set how the brake resistance should feel. The pedal resistance can be adjusted in a sufficient and very large range for both pedals. Of course, the resistance of the brake plays a very important role. And here, especially in the GT Sport category, you can set a very realistic brake resistance. If you can set the realistic brake resistance and the pedal travel of a Formula 1 car is something I am unfortunately not sure about, as they have an extremely high resistance and a very low pedal travel. However, I can definitely say that the brake pedal can be set so high that they only reach the end of the pedal travel with difficulty in race mode with the maximum adjustable configuration. And something about me, I do a lot of strength training and do 3 squats with an additional weight of 160 kilograms at the current weight of myself of 85 kilograms at the height of 1.76 meters. So this should already mean something. In addition, the brake pedal has a 200 kilograms load cell, an extremely adjustable and noticeable hydraulic unit, and a software to customize the pedal set even more. In summary, the pedal set convinced me very much. The performance kit, which is available for €59.9 without VAT, also has its advantages. More about the performance kit can be found in a separate video, which I will link to the video description. After the pros, we now come to the cons. For me, there's only the price, which is quite high. However, this is because of the design and the adjustment options. The pedal was designed with great attention to detail, as you would expect from Cube Controls. This also includes the fact that all components were CNC machined from a single piece of aluminium. Of course, this costs money and results in a higher price. However, it also ensures more stability and less potential for errors because less parts are used. Here, everyone has to decide for themselves what a pedal set is worth to them. I would also advise you to buy a footrest. There's none in the package, but that is usually the case with pedal sets. Personally, I got myself a footrest because I couldn't drive without one. I hope you enjoyed the video and I was able to answer all your questions. If you have any further questions, please write them in the comments. A link to the pedal set is also in the video description. Now we come to a short video of a race. If you want to see the whole race, I linked the whole video in the video description. Have fun with it and see you next time.